That's it, you can't get too far ahead of yourselves, but from our perspective and from probably a lot of supporters watching, Exeter Chiefs finished top of the table by a long way, playing the 4th place side who had the surprise package. You know, the complacency is for us that we think, well, Exeter should be there this year. How do you get that out of the players' minds?
To be fair, I don't think we've had too much, because the reality is that these guys have played in an awful lot of circumstances over the last 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, some of them. And they've seen situations arise where a complacency can always hurt you, or a bit of your preparation being off can hurt you. But they've also seen that if you get your preparation right, and you get your mental state right, and you get your intensity right, and you hit the pitch really driving your game plan, a lot of good things can happen. So we've seen both sides of the coin. We certainly don't look like a team who's prepared to be complacent. We look like a team who are prepared to go out there and give it a really good go, and be prepared to fight and lay it on the line for the full 80 minutes. That's kind of what you have to do. Obviously, we've had our usual look at Newcastle, as we would any other side. They've obviously had a good season. Getting in the top 4 is an achievement in itself. We're very aware of how hard you have to work to be in the top 4. But what we've really focused on for the last 2 weeks is ourselves, because ultimately, by focusing on ourselves, that gives us the best opportunity to be good at what we want to do, drive our systems and our game plan, and ultimately that's what's made us a successful side so far this season.
If you'll indulge me for just a second, my complacency, Exeter in the final, you go on to win the final, whoever it's against. Would doing that this year be a much bigger achievement than doing it last year, for the simple fact that to defend that title?
I think it's a very difficult thing to talk about. I mean, now we're in preparation for a semi-final, and I'm not really going to sit here and start talking about what winning a final would mean, because the reality is that at this stage it doesn't mean anything. We finished top of the Premiership. In 5 years' time, is anyone going to talk about Exeter finishing top of the Premiership if we don't win it? Of course they're not. It doesn't work like that, and they're not going to talk about what the ifs and buts and maybes of us winning successive Premierships would have been if we don't win a semi-final. So we'll start talking about how good an achievement will be when it's an achievement that we actually deserve, that we can lay claim for. At the moment, we don't deserve to start talking about winning back-to-back finals, because we haven't dealt with the very next hurdle, and that's Newcastle at home.
Fair comment. Team-wise, selection problems, or is it problems because everyone's fit, or is it has anyone struggled this week at all and are not available?
I mean, we genuinely have problems every week. We've had some tough ones this week. They've become a bit tougher with even more guys becoming available, and we were right at the end of getting guys back with little fractures and little breaks, and we kind of knew this would be the scenario 6 or 7 weeks ago, that we would, if we got this far, that we would suddenly have to make some tough decisions on guys who are now fit and available. And we've got an awful lot of people out there running around having full training weeks this week, which we haven't had for a few weeks. Selection for that reason has been very tough, and what it also allows us to cover now is, if we do manage to overcome Newcastle this weekend, that we've also got some selection issues for next week as well. So those are nice problems to have. Selection did take a long time, but ultimately we've picked players who have been successful for us so far this season, have got decent game minutes under their belt, and we feel absolutely ready to go and play very well for the full game.